Morning, everyone. You know, this week we made a good faith offer to avert the fiscal crisis. And that offer included significant spending cuts and reforms, and it included additional revenue. And frankly, it was the balanced approach that the president's been asking for. Now we need a response from the White House. We can't sit here and negotiate with ourselves. Our targets and framework are things that we can all agree on. And it's exactly how we approached our discussions in the Biden group, my discussions at the White House a year and a half ago, and for that matter, in the Joint Select Committee. And if the president doesn't agree with our proposal and our outline, I think he's got an obligation to send one to the Congress. And a plan that can pass both chambers of Congress. If you look at the plans that the White House have talked about thus far, they couldn't pass either house of the Congress. We're ready and eager to talk to the president and to work with him to make sure that the American people aren't disadvantaged by what's happening here in Washington.
Good morning. You know, I think at this point, pretty much most folks in the country, and certainly in this town, know where both sides are on taxes. I think we understand that. But to the Speaker's point, we have not had any discussion in any specifics with this president about the real problem, which is spending. We have got to do something about the spending. An obsession to raise taxes is not going to solve the problem. What will solve the problem is doing something about the entitlements, taking on the wasteful spending in Washington. We can't just keep borrowing money and raising taxes and expecting the problem to go away. That is our point to the president. And as the Speaker said, we want to sit down with the president. We want to talk specifics. We put an offer on the table now. He has out of hand rejected that. Where are the specifics? Where are the discussions? Nothing is going on. Meanwhile, the people of this country are the ones that suffer. So we ask the president, sit down with us, be serious about the specifics of spending so we can stop the wasteful spending in Washington and finally address the problem.
As we continue to try to solve the fiscal cliff, the thing we've always continued to look at is our economy, wanting it to continue to grow. Today in the Whip's office, we'll have small family-owned businesses in there, talking about ways that we can protect the family business, continue to grow, while at the same time make sure we solve this fiscal cliff. Look, each and every day as we walk the halls, you continue to ask a question. You want the answer to solving the fiscal cliff? We put an offer on the table. The president now has to engage. I think the next 72 hours are critical. If he sits back and continues to play politics, that'll give you your answer of where we're going. This is an opportunity for this country to lead. This is an opportunity for the president to lead.
As these fiscal cliff negotiations and debate continues, I think it's important to remember that Washington doesn't have a revenue problem. It has a spending problem. And under this administration, under President Obama, we have seen record deficits and a record debt accumulate. And yet he keeps demanding that we raise taxes in order to pay for more spending. This will only hurt our economy. Ernst & Young has done an analysis of the president's proposal and said that it would cost 700,000 jobs at a time when our economy continues to struggle. There's a better way, and the Speaker has laid it out. It is an approach that calls for tax reform by reforming the tax code and passing responsible spending cuts in order to get our fiscal house in order. That's what America wants. This is our opportunity to do the big things. This is our moment to provide that leadership that America desperately wants. And we stand here ready to take the action necessary.
The American people are hurting right now, and it now is the moment where we need to step up to the plate and solve the problem. I don't know how any of us can look our kids and grandkids in the eye and explain to them that we're not willing to pay for the things that we're enjoying today. We're just going to send them the bill. That's why Republicans have a proposal on the table that fixes the problem, puts us on the course to solve the problem, which is the out-of-control spending side of the ledger. We've come to the table with revenues. In fact, I think our revenues address the issue better in a pro-growth fashion, fixing an antiquated tax code that's out of date. We're hopeful that the President will come to the table and be serious about negotiating.
President Obama has an unbelievable opportunity to be a transformational president. That is, to bring the country together uniquely and solve this debt problem in ways that other presidents haven't really had that opportunity. Or he can dissolve into zero-sum game politics, where he wins and other people lose. I've seen an attribute in President Obama when I served with him in the state Senate where he was able to rise above donkeys and elephants and transform some very controversial issues in a way that was powerful. And it's my hope that President Obama rises to this opportunity, avoids the zero-sum game splash, and instead leads the nation in ways that only one person can do. That is, the President of the United States. House Republicans are prepared to get to yes. House Republicans are not prepared to get to foolish. And it is foolish to reject President Obama's own self-described architecture of $3 in spending cuts for every dollar in new revenue. So we're prepared to work, and we call on the White House to do the same thing.
Speaker Boehner, President Obama's White House's rejection of your last offer was based on you not extending the tax rates for those 250 or above. A Fox News poll after the November election said 6 in 10 voters supported those going up. A new Pew poll in the Washington Post says 53% of Americans would blame Republicans in Congress if we go over the fiscal cliff. How long can you afford politically to have this hard line on those tax cuts for those making 250 or above?
America faces a very serious problem. And our goal is to make sure it gets solved. We have a debt problem that is out of control. We've got to cut spending, and I believe that it's appropriate to put revenues on the table. Now, the revenues we're putting on the table are going to come from, guess who? The rich. Now, there are ways to limit deductions, close loopholes, and have the same people pay more of their money to the federal government without raising tax rates, which we believe will harm our economy. I think our members understand the seriousness of the situation that our country faces. Trillion-dollar deficits for as far as the eye can see. $16 trillion worth of debt already on the books. Every man, woman, and child in America owing the federal government over $50,000. And that number is increasing every single year. And I think as a result, our members understand that we've got to solve the problem, and we will.
Last question.
Today's Wednesday, and the House is going to leave today with 2 days left in the week. I understand that you are saying that there's just no legislation that's on the floor, but when it comes to just pure optics of the House leaving with the fiscal cliff right in front of
I'll be here, and I'll be available at any moment to sit down with the President to get serious about solving this problem.
Speaker, does the conference perhaps realize that you don't seem to be negotiating for strength in all of this?
Our members believe strongly that raising tax rates will hurt the economy. Closing loopholes, especially on those who are wealthy, is a better way to raise this revenue than raising rates. Because raising rates will hurt the very people that we're expecting to help create jobs in our country. Thanks, everybody.
This has been a Sunfish production.